Hi everyone, so today we're going to be doing a Q&A on all the questions you sent in to us and some that we get commonly asked on our channel.
You sent in loads of questions, which is really awesome because that means we've got loads of things to answer and lots of content. Okay, so the first question we were asked was, how many times have we been to Walt Disney World? And I can't actually remember the exact number. We used to go a lot as a child, and I've forgotten some of the specific years. So I think it's in the region of about 8 or 9 times that I've been.
Okay, so I actually worked this out last night. I've been 16 times, and that doesn't include when I went as a cast member. So I've been a few times. I don't think that's too excessive for me personally, but I did go every year as a kid though. Like, we did go every year. So, I mean, I'm 26 now, so there's only really 10 years of my life that I haven't gone every year. This year will be one of them.
The next question is, I was wondering how you two got together, and was your love of Disney there before, or did you both grow to love it after you'd gotten together?
I think this kind of links from the previous question. I mean, we've only been twice together, so we went a lot of time. We both really liked Disney beforehand. Do you want to say how we met?
Yeah, well, we met through mutual friends when we were at university, and Disney kind of really had nothing to do with it, actually. It's just something we found out kind of afterwards that we both really enjoyed. When we were talking about the holidays we used to go on as kids, Disney came up a lot, and we were like, yeah, cool, okay, we both like Disney. That's pretty handy. It would have been a bit rubbish if one of us didn't, but it wasn't particularly related to how we got together.
Mm-hmm. It was quite a funny story, though. We were, as a big group of friends of us, were deciding somewhere we wanted to go on holiday, just like as an end of uni thing. And everyone was like, oh, let's just go to Cyprus or like Greece or France. And I was like, we're going to Disney World. And like, I brought in all these brochures for everyone. I was like, oh God. I was like, we're going to Disney World. And everyone's like, yeah, she's joking. We went to Disney World. It was amazing. And the next question is, I was also wondering what your jobs are and when is your next Disney trip? Ever done Disneyland Paris? I'm turning to that to get my Disney fix while I have a break from Walt Disney World.
I work as a web developer. I write web pages, but not the bits of them that make them look like what they do, the bits of them that make them work, basically. So I spend a lot of the day on a computer.
Yeah, and I'm in retail management for luxury jewellery. So in regards to like our next trip to Disney World, we haven't got anything in the pipeline right now, just because it's really expensive. And we don't like to do, like, not small trips, but when we go, we like to go hard. I want to be able to buy everything I want. I want to be able to do anything I want to do. And that takes a lot of money, and it's not something we can afford to do every single year. So in my opinion, I'd rather go once every couple of years now and have a crazy blowout trip than budget and go maybe once or twice a year.
We definitely could do Disney on a budget. We've done it before when we went on our trip with our university friends, and that was fine. It was great. We just really, really enjoyed what we were able to do last time, which was every single thing that we wanted to do and not have to worry about a thing. I mean, there's also lots of construction at Disney at the moment that we're kind of hoping will be finished by the time that we are looking to go back. We have tentative plans to maybe do Tokyo Disney either this year or next year. Again, just depending on how things pan out. We don't have any plans to go to Paris, though. I know we looked into it at one point, but we kind of thought, yeah, I'd rather just take the money and put it and save it towards a proper Disney trip.
That's the thing, though. Like, a few days in Paris can be sometimes half the price of a trip to Florida for 2 weeks. I'm like, well, I'd rather do that. So I'd rather just save and double it or triple it and go to Florida. So that's kind of the way we think of that.
So the next question is one just for Sarah, and it's, could you tell us more about your cast member experience?
I have a lot of stories and a lot of advice about being a cast member and kind of what to expect if you're doing the international college program, which I did, or sort of if you're planning it or what's involved. So I think for that I might actually just make a separate video on kind of hints and tips and really what to expect when you're out there.
Okay, so the next question is, what do we think are the best times of year to go to Walt Disney World? And what do you think are the best events/special celebrations at WDW that you have been to? Now, I really, really like May as a time of year to go. Growing up as a kid, we used to often go sort of very sort of peak time, June and July, when it was really, really, really hot and really, really busy. I love May because it's just that little bit cooler and it's way less crowded than peak summertime. Way less crowded.
Yeah, I mean, I've been I mean, I haven't been Christmas and Halloween, which I know is very popular with a lot of people, but from like September back to January, I've been pretty much every month in that sort of time period at different trips. And yeah, May is my favourite. I think what I really like about it is that start of the summer period, really. So you have all the refurbs are kind of finished, most of the construction gets done by that point, so there's not really that much down. But then again, as Ash said, you don't have the crowds. There are usually quite good events. I mean, there's Flower and Garden. There used to be Star Wars Weekend, which we used to do. We were lucky on our last trip to get the 24-hour event, happened to fall in May, and they usually do those kind of at the moment once a year, which is awesome. And it's still really hot. You don't really get that much rain. I think it rained for like half a day when we were there last time for 2 weeks, which is like perfect. Yeah, it's definitely my favourite time of year, and it's not too cold, because January and February can be freezing, and I don't want to go to Florida to get cold. I want to get a nice golden tan.
Okay, the next question is from someone who's going for the first time. They're saying, I'm going to Florida on the 1st of March for my first visit to Orlando, Universal Studios and Disney. Do you have any advice for a first timer?
I mean, I think our best piece of advice, or my best piece of advice personally, is, especially if you're going with a group of people, because you could be going on your own, but for most part it's quite unlikely. Pick one thing in each park that you really want to do and see each, and then make it your mission just to do those things, and anything else be a bonus, really, because if you go in wanting to do everything, you're not going to do. I mean, I've been 16 times and I've barely scratched the surface on things you can do. I mean, only when we did that Magic Kingdom event had I actually done every single attraction in Magic Kingdom, and that took us 24 hours. And we didn't stop, really. We were just like attraction to attraction. So if you think of that on a busy day, especially if you've got kids in school holidays, that's just not going to be achievable. So, I mean, I say to my family whenever they go, yeah, pick one thing that you all want to do and then do those first, and anything else you get to do, just be a nice extra.
The other thing I would say is try not to really over plan it. I mean, planning works great for Disney when you're a bit more familiar with it and you know exactly what you do want to be doing. I think on your first time, you should definitely allow in some extra time to just sort of wander about and kind of take it all in, and don't decide early on, we have to eat here, and make that your fixed plan, because you might walk in and go, actually this other place looks really good. We kind of want to try that. So I mean, let yourself work out what it is that you really like at Disney and sort of get a feel for it first before you go in with a really planned trip, I would say.
I mean, something I can actually recommend, two things actually, they're from the same company, is the unofficial guide to Disney World, and whatever year you're going, because I actually, even though I've been a few times, found that really helpful just to show you kind of what might be worth seeing, what might not. And also the Touring Plans app, just so it gives you an idea of what the queue times are like, and you're not wasting your time going back and forth from different attractions, you know, not knowing what the queue's like. So I found both those really helpful.
The Touring Plans app would actually be really great for first timers, because one of the things that it does is it says, okay, let's say Peter Pan's flight has a wait time of 30 minutes. This is never going to happen.
No.
But it will then say this time is likely to go up or this time is likely to go down. So if you're not too familiar with what the ride trends are at Disney, it will tell you, yeah, go do this now. This is a great time. You should absolutely not do this. Or if it's one of those ones that it knows is going to get easier a bit later, it'll say, well, if you can, wait and do this at 5 o'clock because it's probably going to be less. So that's a really great app and will absolutely help you make the best of that day. Okay, the next question is about character meetings. Have you done many character meetings, and what has been your best experience? Personally, not done that many of them. Not a big character person.
You're not a big people person.
I'm not a big people person, which kind of might have a little bit to do with it. But yeah, it's not really my thing. I see the appeal, it's just not for me so much.
I've done a lot of character interactions, but, and I'm quite an outgoing person and I'm quite easy to make conversation with, I think. I find them really awkward. Like, there's just something where it's like, yeah, there's this awkwardness where you're just waiting to take your picture, and I know some people love it, but I'm like, yay, nice to meet you. Can we get a photo, please? And now I just don't know. I just find it really awkward. I get a little bit of anxiety when they come over. I'm like, oh, can we just make this really easy? And
just to be clear, it's not Disney making it awkward. It's just Sarah finding it weird. No one at Disney is going to judge you if you are two adults going by yourself and you want to take a photo. I mean, no one batted an eyelid when we were wandering about and meeting characters at breakfast at Crystal Palace, which is Winnie the Pooh characters. No one said a thing, no one made us feel uncomfortable. It's just Sarah finding things a bit weird.
I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm seeing a big celebrity that I can't handle it. But it's always like, some of them were nice. I tell you what, we went into the one Ash just spoke about, Crystal Palace, and I went in there going, I'm not going to want to speak to any of the characters, I'm just going to let them go past, I'm just here for my Mickey, I'm just here for my Mickey waffles and my Pooh's French toast, whatever. They started coming around and I ran up and I was like, can I have a hug? And they're like, yeah. And then they forced you to get involved and it was amazing. We made fun of Eeyore's face, we posed with him, and that was fun. I find the face characters, like the princesses and things, a little bit more awkward. I don't know why.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because, yeah, I don't know. It's just me. They are really fun, and if you love interacting with characters, and if you've got kids that love interacting with characters, that's amazing. I'm pretty sure when I was a kid I preferred it, but now as an adult I'm like intimidated by the princesses. We went to Cinderella. We went to Cinderella's royal table. Jasmine, oh my goodness, the six pack on that girl was incredible. And I was just sat there after eating a tray of pastries. Should we get a picture?
Which one, even though you're not really into it, has been your favourite though?
Ooh, that's a question. I actually think it was, and this is throughout my whole time of doing them, so I've done them quite consistently. Ones I can remember, as a kid, I can't remember them as much. I think it was actually Crystal Palace. Yeah. I think and I hate Winnie the Pooh. And we went in that, I don't like Winnie the Pooh as the stories or anything. And they were all so lovely, and I really liked them. I would go back and I would give them a hug again.
What is your favourite thing about Walt Disney World?
Nostalgia. I've been going since I can remember. I've had birthdays there, we've had, family reunions there, and every time I go back I can remember doing certain things. I remember I've got a video of a kid of me and my cousin on It's a Small World going, oh my god, it's Aladdin, oh my god, this is amazing. And whenever I go on it now I just think of that, and I think of all the things I did with my little brothers and stuff like that, and it just, or even when I was a cast member, there's things I said to Ash oh, I used to do this when I was here and I used to do that, and I just really like making memories. I think it's a great place for it, and you've got that familiarity of knowing everything, but then you always see new stuff, which I think is awesome.
For me, it's probably a mix between sort of just the ambience that they have there. I think it's a really, really, really nice place to just wander about, relax, not stressed out, just really enjoyable. Everyone's really friendly. It's just a really nice place to be, and I really, really like that about that. And I think that Disney put in a lot of effort into making their places somewhere that are just nice to be. Even if you're not specifically doing something, you're not doing a ride at that moment, you're still having a really, really good time, and it's really nice. I just really like that. And the food, probably. Yeah. I really, really like food, and Disney has some really, really great food, so it definitely makes my list for probably one of my top things about Walt Disney World. Tying in a little bit, what is your favourite restaurant in Walt Disney World out of all of them? Now,
are we doing sit down or quick service, or is this just in general?
I'm saying, I think the way I'm reading this question is favourite one, no restrictions out of any of them in Walt Disney World.
Oh, you might have to go first. Ooh.
Yeah, this is a very, very tough one. In terms of food quality, obviously I have to say Victoria and Albert. That chef's table, the quality of the food that we were given was absolutely incredible. It's also a lot more expensive. So, out of, should we say, the regular restaurants as well, my favourite after that would probably be California Grill, because I had a really, really good meal there. I know you didn't enjoy it as much, but I really, really liked the way the restaurant looked. I liked the food, I liked the service, and for me was definitely probably the second restaurant on the list.
Can I give two answers?
I gave two answers, so okay. You can give two answers.
Favourite restaurant, Be Our Guest. I cried when we went in. When he opened the door and he was like, welcome, I was like, oh my god. We met Beast, and that was amazing. The food was good. It was good. And for first day food, it was incredible. Like when we hadn't
It was
experienced
great.
any other really good food, I was like, this is amazing. Favourite food? Lotus Blossom Cafe. That orange chicken, I dream about that orange chicken. I don't think there's been a trip gone by where I have not gone and had orange chicken. I might not even be hungry. I think we went one day after eating a meal. I was like, right, this is our last day of this trip. I need to get orange chicken. You're like, we just had breakfast. Like, I don't care. I need to have this orange chicken before I leave. Otherwise, it's not a Disney World trip.
It's not great food.
It's amazing food.
No, it isn't. It's kind of mall Chinese food-esque.
I love more Chinese food.
But sometimes I'm really, really in the mood for that too.
It's like Panda Express, like more slightly.
It's a
fancy.
Disneyed up Panda Express. Like,
So good.
what's not to love about that? Like, every once in a while, that's what you're really craving.
All the time.
All the time.
I always crave Panda Express.
Recommend a table service credit, which I would be insane not to use.
Oh god, that is an intense question. Because what if we're wrong and then they pick it and they're like, this was terrible. You guys did a terrible job. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, this one, I find restaurant recommendations really, really difficult. Food is so subjective. It appeals to different people for different reasons. Some sort of real Disney favourites we didn't enjoy as much as we'd been led to believe that we would. So I'm always like really, really careful trying to give people, this is your don't miss restaurant, because so many people told us that was Le Cellier, and I wasn't that impressed by Le Cellier. So it's really going to depend what you want out of your meal. I think Be Our Guest's a really good one because of the theming. They've got some great food aside from dessert, and if you like really, really good theming, then that one would be, that would be one that I would say don't miss. But in terms of like everything else, it's so difficult. I mean, California Grill and Yachtsman Steakhouse.
They're both 2 credits though.
2 credits, so I
prefer
don't
the
know
2
that they
credit
really, really
meals.
count for this question, because otherwise those would be the ones that I would say. But
I would go for, and this is purely because I've only done one of them, but for the theming of the area and the way it made us feel going there, I would maybe risk a credit on an Animal Kingdom Lodge restaurant. Maybe not Sanaa, but there's Boma, there's Jaiko. I think the hotel itself is incredible, and I think the atmosphere you get from there and the things you can go and see and do while you're waiting for your meal is amazing. Like, and I know Boma's a buffet, so really, you can get your money's worth for that if you really try.
the final food question is, do you prefer quick service or waiter service? Now, personally, I absolutely prefer table service restaurants at Walt Disney World. I think that they are so good in terms of theme and food. Table service all the way.
I prefer quick service.
That's controversial.
No, because listen, hear me out. So I'm quite a picky eater. I'm getting better, but like nothing makes me feel happier than seeing a menu where I could eat everything off it, like chicken nuggets, burgers, hot dogs from Casey's Corner,
We didn't get one of those on our last trip, and I regret that.
beignets, that chicken Alfredo I got from our hotel in Port Orleans, French Quarter. All of these Mickey premium bars coming as a pudding, Fanta, like
Orange Fanta.
orange Fanta, just all these drinks. Oh my god, like Lotus Blossom Cafe, like all these Sunshine Seasons, Mickey waffles, but the big ones. Like I like dressing up and I like going to the nicer meals, but man, I love a nice Disney plastic plate.
Next one is, what is your favourite item you bought from Walt Disney World, Florida?
Ever?
Ever. And that includes all the fluffy things.
Oh my god, I have so many things that I love so much. You're gonna have to go first. I have to narrow this list down.
For me, it's probably actually the Starbucks You Are Here mugs that we bought on our last trip, because I just really, really like the style of them. I know some people are going to be sort of, oh, well, it's not Disney, it's Starbucks, but I really like them. I think they're really cool. I love the Epcot one with all the purple. I love the Magic Kingdom one with the castle in the middle, and the Chinese Theatre on the Hollywood Studios one. I think that they're a really, really great collection, and I'm so glad we picked them up. Not really Disney, kind of,
They are.
but they're my favourite thing that we've bought there, I think.
Okay, so I've been running through my list in my head, and there are a few like standout performers in this category. However, I'm going to have to be really kind of boring and generic and go my Mickey ears, because I wear those a lot. They've done a couple of trips now.
They have.
And whenever I see them, they bring joy. I mean, I do have Fat Mickey and Minnie, who I do love. I have lots of blankets that I love. But I think the item I keep going back to has got to be my Mickey ears, because...
You have got a lot of use out of it. Okay, so the final question is, I'm going in July with my wife-to-be, and I was wondering what's one of the best things to do as a couple. You're going first on this one, because I have no idea.
The meals are nice, like dressing up.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yep.
if you want to do something that's free, I really enjoyed going to downtown Disney World, Disney Springs with you now, on an evening when it got dark, taking the boat down, going to like the west side where they've got all the... No, it's called the... What is it? The central location they've kind of finished where the boathouse is. And they had live music, and it just felt like a little seaside town, and it was just so amazing. Like, I keep saying that was my favourite bit of that trip. That was part of the trip where I was like, this is amazing. And we could just get a nice drink and just stroll around, look in some of the shops, and just... It was really nice and relaxed, and I enjoyed that so much that would be it for me. Like, it's not obviously traditional for couples. Like, you could do like fancy things, but if you want to do something free that really has a lot of meaning, that was it for me.
No, that was really, really nice, and I think I'd have to say probably the same thing. It would be, between the meals that we ate out together, the really nice ones, and then just spending some time together at Disney Springs. That was a really nice place and really nice things to do.
Because it's not as go as the parks. You can kind of take it at your own pace. And since they've done a lot more of the construction finished, it was a lot quieter. There was a lot more space for people to walk around. I know before it was a bit of a crazy place to be, but I love it now. And I can't wait to see what it looks like when it's finished.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for asking your questions. Hopefully we've got through your question. If we haven't, then we will be doing another Q&A at some point, I'm sure, in the future.
Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.